Hello, friendship.
That's my anime impression voice. I'm sure you enjoyed it. This game came out a couple of weeks ago, I believe, but it's taken me forever to beat it, and I finally have, so now I can finally review it for your viewing pleasure. If you're new to how I review things, I don't give a score. I just tell you things that I love and hate about the game. Then you can make your own decision. You get to use that brain of yours. That sounded really condescending, my bad. I'm feeling proper hateful today, so let's start with the hates. I hate that there wasn't enough Final Fantasy characters, which is a really weird thing to say, seeing as the game is called World of Final Fantasy, not World of There's some Final Fantasy in here, but not really. And this will be spoilers, but there's no Zidane in the game. FF9 got no love whatsoever. Well, it did, those two characters from it. But Zidane, I mean, come on now. Plus, there was no Final Fantasy 14 characters. Even Yish Toma wasn't in the game. Square, you done messed up there. People love cats, especially cat ladies. I can attest to that. My character on FF14 is a cat lady, don't judge me. But I love the battle system in the game. It's kind of a blend of old school RPGs with the whole taking turns thing, but with Pokemon thrown in there. So you can capture all these awesome monsters from Final Fantasy. And no, you can't catch yourself the bunny girl from Final Fantasy 12. The only redeeming factor of that game, I might add. The thing I love about it the most, though, is that you can hold R1 and the game speeds up. Someone like me is very impatient. I like things that are nice and fast.
And in my booty.
This was a perfect feature for me. Same time, though, I did miss a lot of cool animations because I just didn't really care. I just held R1. My finger actually hurt so much because I was holding R1 the whole time. It's a great feature, and more games should implement this, definitely. But I hate how the variety in the captures was a bit eh. For example, you'll catch like a little golem thing. Then later on, there'll be a red golem. Later on, there might be a green golem. I guess when you compare that to Pokemon, for example, every Pokemon is unique and different for the most part. So seeing a color swap of like a weird little rock man wasn't exactly mind-blowing. I love that it just kind of goes back to its roots. It is an old school RPG. Everything about it is just so old school, man. It's kind of what I was looking for as well. I want to lie in bed, play a nice chill Final Fantasy game. And it's great as well because it's turn-based, you know, I can just be on my phone. During mid-battle, I can just take a little break, you know? That's why this game just caters to loads of my needs with the speed up and whatever. My point is, it kind of goes back to basics and it works really well. It's not too much, not too less. It's got that nice little middle ground. I love middle ground. I love middles and grounds. So together, it's my favorite combination. That and pizza. But I hate, well, I don't really hate it, but I'm not a massive fan of the chibi art style. I will be honest. The characters look so much better when they're in their actual giant form, it's called. With a J, that is. They're going super edgy with this game. I really preferred Lion and Rain when they were big and not little tiny weird, what they called pop figure things. But the problem was, though, I had to be in chibi form so I could ride my awesome behemoth. That didn't sound right. Wait, I say behemoth. I didn't have a behemoth. Whatever, my big fox thing. I guess it is appealing, but I don't know. I prefer the more Kingdom Heartsy art style they had going on for the giant characters. Giant with a J. I love the music in this game, though. Seriously, one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a while. You can even choose what battle music to have, and that's awesome. My personal favorite is the Blitzball one from Final Fantasy X. That one, yeah, I'm sure you remember that one. The battle music is just great, though. I'm listening to it right now as I record this to get me in the mood, you know, for some loving. But I hate some of the writing, though. I guess I'm not used to Japanese games as much nowadays. So stuff like, oh, it's your destiny and it's my fate.
Oh boy, I'm Japanese.
Cheesy dialogue, etc. The thing with the dialogue, though, you can kind of forgive it a bit. They do say weird things like, you know, me being like, hi, buddy. They'll be like, hey, bidet. Phrases like that. But it's nowhere in the level of, for example, Life is Strange, you know? It kind of fits with the tone and fits with the mood of the game. And there are some funny moments, to be honest. But I love the voice acting for the most part. Most of the voices are all really cool. Even Warrior of Light sounds pretty decent in this. As we all know, he sounded horrendous in Dissidia. Cosmos, I will save the day. In this one, he actually sounds like a real person. Can you believe it? All the voices are pretty decent. I can't think of one bad voice, apart from the chick who's like, whose soul will you touch? And I'm an idiot because I just corrected myself. Oopsie daisy on a bacon on a Sunday. But I hated the Crystal Place dungeon. I guess that's kind of spoilers, but not really. You'll know when you get there. That part dragged on so much. I actually got really bored. And then when you get to the top, it's like, fight these other random bosses. It felt like they stretched it out for time's sake, which I don't understand why, because the last chapter takes forever. They really didn't need to do that. And it messed up the pacing a bit, which I'll talk about later on. But I love how good the story was. It was actually pretty good. When I went into this game, I didn't see any trailers. I saw nothing. I just knew it was Final Fantasy. This was a unique story with Final Fantasy worlds and characters, etc. But a lot of time and effort actually went into the story and making it its own thing, which I really appreciated. And it got me emotionally invested, which is pretty good considering it's a game about little chibi characters running about jerking each other off. Square seemed to be pretty good at doing that, so props to you, you silly goons. Just kidding, I love you, Square. Give me free games, please. I hated how many cutscenes there were at the start of the game, though. I got a bit anxious, you know. I was sitting there like, oh, come on, can we hurry this along, please? I got a massive wanky bank appointment to go to. But there were so many cutscenes at the start, and you had to pay attention to what it was saying, obviously, because it was essentially the tutorial. But once you got past the cutscenes, it was smooth sailing from there. So think of it as braving a nice, deadly storm. A nice, deadly storm. Then that's over, and then you get to finally eat that slice of cake you've wanted. Worst analogy 2016. Speaking of cutscenes, though, I love the little anime cutscenes they had. They just kind of spiced it up a little bit, you know? At first, I was like, what is this anime cutscene? Why is this even in the game? It makes no sense. They're actually pretty well done. It's also cool seeing the chibi little characters in anime form jumping about and killing stuff. They complemented each other very well. They were like, you look nice today. Yeah, thank you. So do you. Thanks, pal. But I did hate it was very easy at one point. The game was so easy, seriously. I just held X and held R1 and I could do mostly every battle in the game. Even some of the bosses, to be honest. Towards the end, it was pretty challenging and I did die quite a lot and I did have to grind a little bit. Grind on your mum, I mean, wait. But I did feel it was a bit too easy. Maybe I just got a really good Mirage earlier on because I did actually try and get one from the Coliseum thingy-majig. So maybe I kind of cheated a bit because I'm so cool. But I love the pacing of the game. Aside from the little crystal place I was talking about earlier, there's so many areas and I feel like the second you're like, oh, this area I'm kind of done with, a new one pops up. Quite a few I had to Google though because I didn't know what the hell they were, as I've only really played 7 onwards. I just can't deal with NES graphics, man. They burn my eyes. It burns. So a lot of places I did Google to see what they're from. Same with the characters. Same time though, I got some nice Final Fantasy knowledge and it was cool seeing characters that didn't know who the hell they were. So I guess it was a plus actually. But I hated the end credit sequence. I don't know. I'm not into the whole cutesy, weird dancing. I don't know what to describe it, to be honest. It's not even a spoiler. It doesn't actually contribute to the story, but just not a big fan of like watching little square-headed goons dance around and singing, especially when the super serious Final Fantasy characters I've grown to love. But I loved all the extras. I don't even know what it means by that on my notes here, but I'm assuming the extras in the, you know, in the game, in the background, you know, people that get paid to stand there and not be the main characters. All the extras did a top-notch job in this game.
Just kidding.
I meant all the extra missions and all that stuff. And I love all the extra part at the end. You think you've beaten the game, and the game's like, nope. And it adds like 3-4 hours more of game. Is that even good grammar? I have no idea. My point is there's a lot of extra stuff you can do, and it'll keep you entertained for a bit. Actually, when you beat the game, there's a few extra dungeons you can do as well, but I got wrecked on those because I'm not that cool. I'm talking really fast right now. I'm running out of breath. I'm done. Well, there you have it. Things that I love and hated about World of Final Fantasy. All in all, I actually loved this game with a passion. I thought it was great. Was not expecting much going in, to be honest, but it ended up being one of my favorite games I played all year. Just couldn't stop playing it. I was hooked. I was a fish in that scenario. And you know what? Even if you're not a big fan of Final Fantasy, just as an RPG by itself, it is a really good game. It's a bit old school and a bit classic, so you have to get used to that, I guess. But I would definitely recommend playing it, as I had a blast. I had a mind blast. That's a move in the game. References. If you played the game, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of it. And also, let me know your favorite Final Fantasy character. Mine is Tidus. Don't judge. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.